Hello and welcome to all of our viewers. I am Ruchi Duvedi, your host from Sheside Global Media House. Today I have with me a very interesting guest. Her name is Leya Lakshmanan. Leya is an experienced digital marketing leader who has been instrumental in leveraging organic and paid strategies to drive exceptional business growth. She currently heads the marketing division at Embitel Technologies, a Volkswagen Group company. When she's not busy learning about emerging technologies in the automotive and IoT space, she nurtures her interest in art and baking. With that said, I would like to welcome our guest, Leya Lakshmanan. Welcome, Leya.
Yeah, thank you, Ruchi. Thank you for having me on this podcast.
Welcome to you. Leya, I wanted to ask you, in addition to what I have said, would you like to add something about your varied interests in art and baking?
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Currently I am working as the marketing head at Embitel Technologies, and the main focus area of Embitel is in developing cutting edge technology in automotive, EV, IoT, digital commerce, and digital experience domains. Um, but as On a personal level, my journey has been a little different. I've not always been working in the marketing field. I started off as a techie and I worked as a software engineer for around 8 years. And then I moved out into a lot of different channels or different professions, you might say. I had been working as a baker. Literally, I moved from a software engineer and became a baker. And I had a baking business, a cloud kitchen. And it was after that, I was also dabbling in art. I used to sell my art at galleries. It's only later when I was confident during this break of mine. I wouldn't call it a break. It was more like an entrepreneurship break. Only when I was confident that I was ready to get back into the corporate world that I started exploring writing as a profession. And once I started learning about the technicalities of writing and marketing, I was able to move into this field. So at office, currently my team's responsibilities mainly include, business development mainly, and that is through inbound lead generation. We are also involved in branding and communications for the company. So we develop and maintain, our corporate website and various other external properties like our company's social media channels, YouTube channel, Medium publication, and the like. We are also responsible for the company's advertising needs, and we also play a key role in offline events and trade shows that we attend for the organization. So yeah, that's my journey.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing the details of your position and your varied responsibilities. Um, can you tell us about an interesting recent project that you might have headed or worked on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So, yeah, recently, uh, our product engineering team at office, they wanted to set up an experience center in our office location where they can showcase their work physically to any of the visitors at office. So my team was actively involved in the design and decor of that room. And that is something out of the ordinary for us because that, really involves the interior designing aspects. Until then, we had been developing the ideas and creatives for online marketing, but the involvement in this experience room design was actually very fulfilling for us because we were able to customize that room design so that it suits the brand guidelines and the brand elements. And we were able to give it a full-fledged, engaging experience for the visitors. First time for us, and we did work with a vendor to get all the 3D elements and all created as per our visualization. But still, conceptualizing that room, designing it, and getting it up and running and standing inside it was something really, really a great experience for us. So yeah, that's one project that will stay with me for some time.
That's great. You know, when design kicks into your job and you're creative, I think that just fits right in with your passion as well as your job responsibilities. So what is the most sort of impactful aspect of your job vis-a-vis the real world? How do you think your work makes the most impact?
Yeah. So you see, businesses across the world today are rapidly embracing technologies like Gen AI, virtual reality, autonomous vehicles, and more. Um, we see that India has been a crucial tech hub developing these technologies. And I'm fortunate because I'm working in an organization where we are actually breaking the boundaries of innovation, and we are coming up with these high end solutions in all these up and coming areas. So personally, I feel very happy when I see these applications actually being developed by my colleagues in front of us. And, I can actually hop over to their desk and experience how it works when I'm there. So being able to see it firsthand fills me with a different kind of excitement, because I'm also a marketer, all said and done, and I would be able to talk about all this work that's happening in front of me to the external world.
Mhm.
And that kind of excitement, I think, is a fuel for every marketer. So for me, because I'm seeing these things happening in front of me, it gives me a lot of ideas to how I can communicate it to the world.
Mhm.
And it's a really great thing that I'm able to do this. And I feel really fortunate being, in this organization.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Being able to witness the development of new types of technology and their implementation is absolutely one of the most, one of the greatest sort of learning experiences that we can have. It's like live learning.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Getting to know the people behind these things that we're seeing out there in the world, So
mhm.
it's nice to see that and their journey.
Sure, sure. My next question is a natural transition to, your answer. I wanted to ask you, what would you, if you could, what is the one thing that you would change to make this world a better place?
Nice question, actually, very thoughtfully framed. So I feel that the world needs to embrace diversity more. That's the crux of what I'm going to say. I see a lot of organizations today talk about embracing diversity, but diversity is not just for the workplace. For a better world, I wish people would understand that diverse perspectives, talent, beliefs, ideas, all these should be celebrated in various realms of life.
Mhm.
If I take the example of our country, for instance, I think India is rich in its diversity. Our culture, our food, our beliefs, our religion, dressing, everything. We are a diverse mix of the most beautiful things that God has created. But
Mhm.
I often wonder if we are truly united in this diversity, because I think that if that happens, we will be an example of a utopia that I'm dreaming of.
Mhm.
That's why I feel that if human beings, all of us, embrace diversity and understand that, all said and done, diverse perspectives, we might be different in a lot of things. It's all just the packaging. On the inside, we are all the same. We are all human beings, and I think we should learn to, embrace that and accept that.
Yeah, diversity is one key aspect of this entire world. And in more ways than one, we find that if we were more diverse and more inclusive in so many different ways, we would be able to solve many challenges very creatively, all across the globe. Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, as a woman leader, when do you feel the most powerful, the most impactful, and the most vulnerable? And you can tell us examples of at your workplace, the experiences you have had, or even outside as a woman who heads marketing at such a remarkable company. Uh, but, outside the company in general life, when do you feel the most powerful, impactful, or vulnerable?
So, talking about work, so at work, I think the most powerful and impactful aspects come into the picture at the end of each month, when we see that the kind of impact our work is having on the business. So one of our major targets at work is to generate business for the organization. And at the end of the month, when we see, that there are these many number of inbound inquiries coming in because of the activities that we've done, and we are able to match it. Okay, I did this, and then I'm able to get this out of it. That kind of impact, when we see it in our day-to-day work, that makes us feel very powerful and very impactful, actually. uh,
Mhm.
that's the work part of it. Whereas on a personal front, there are many other things that actually make me feel the same way. So I am a mom of two daughters,
Mhm.
and there are many times when I've seen that my kids, uh, even though they are kids, they sometimes say the most thoughtful things, and the most thoughtful gestures come out of them, something that I would have never expected from a 10-year-old. So
Mhm.
during these times, I felt like I've been a powerful influence in their life, because I have had a good impact on their personalities.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm raising good human beings here. That kind of a thought makes me feel very powerful and impactful. uh, yeah, so that is the power and impact part. But now,
Mhm.
talking about vulnerability,
Mhm.
uh, throughout life, I've always felt that health has been an area where I feel that we are very vulnerable,
Mhm.
especially COVID and all as it came in. uh, we felt very powerless, right, at that point of time, when the world was grappling with this huge pandemic. I really feel that health is an area where people are having these health cares early on in life these days. So as we age, I think there should be a lot of focus from us on eating well, exercising well, sleeping more, having a good social life, etc., rather than putting all our energy into being workaholics and just focusing only on career growth, because that itself is something that I'm seeing a lot amongst colleagues. So there are a lot of people who actually focus on work, 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 and what's happening to your personal life. These kind of thoughts
Mhm.
don't really happen. So I don't want a health scare to actually bring you to realize how important your personal well-being is. And I'm not someone who actually supports that hustle culture, because I
Mhm.
strongly feel that it costs us our personal well-being. So
Mhm.
I would always focus on mine and my family's holistic well-being at all times. And I always feel that we are truly irreplaceable for our family. So that health aspect, is that thing that always made me a little vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah, I so agree with you. I think because health is wealth, and everything is meaningful if you're healthy and happy, versus running after other luxuries of life, but not really keeping well yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, health wise. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely valuable what you're saying here. There's one more question that I wanted to ask you. You mentioned earlier on that you had a little bit of a gap in what you were doing in terms of the arts and baking passions, and then you wanted to come back into the corporate world. Tell us a little bit about, for all those women who are listening who want to get back to their respective careers and professions, after a bit of a gap, being homemakers or, rearing children at home. What are some tips and tricks that'll be valuable for women who are looking to get back?
So I worked for 8 years, and when I was at a really good phase in my career, I had to take a break due to maternity reasons. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there who are backing out of the corporate world for the very same reason. Now, when I took that maternity break, it was at a time when uh, I didn't have a lot of support to care for my kids. These days, I think there are a lot of ways in which people are trying to manage. But at that point of time, I was not in a position to do that. And I had a 7-year long career break. Following that, as a techie, coming back into the technical space, I was hearing a lot of demotivating comments from my coworkers, my ex-coworkers. They were like, "Okay, after you have a 7-year career gap, it's like that's it, that's the end." But I was not ready to just give up. I did do a lot of fulfilling things during that break. It was during that break that I explored all these interests that I had in baking. The things that people say, try to make your uh, hobby a career and then you never have to work a day in life. These kind of
Mhm.
thoughts you hear. And I'm proud that I've actually done that. What my hobby was, I've actually turned that into a career. I used to paint. I was painting professionally. I used to bake. I started baking professionally. But I never found that kind of, the whatever was promised in the beginning. I never found that there, because the moment I start baking professionally, I felt a lot more stressed out in baking. I was not able to bake carefree because now it's for a paying client. So you
Mhm.
really have to be very serious about your thing, and need to up your game. So that is when I realized that until and unless whatever it is that a profession that you are undertaking, you need to upskill in it. You need to be really good at it. On the side, I was also writing, and I was getting a lot of good feedback from people who I was freelancing with. So that is when I thought, if writing can be a full-time profession, why not take it up? So I had these three options in front of me, career options for a second innings, whether I should continue as an artist, whether I should continue as a baker, or I should continue writing. And I just thought, let me just wing it. Let me just try to look out there in the market for what kind of job opportunities are there for me in writing. And as soon as I started looking out, I did land a good job, and at a very good pay as well. So that is when I naturally moved out into this field. So for all women who are on a career break and looking to come back into the workforce, I have like a few tips. First and foremost, do not even listen to what your your people around you are saying, because most of the times you'll see a lot of negative comments saying that you might not be able to get back into the workforce, or 2-year career break is too much. These
Mhm.
kind of things, you hear it a lot even from your family.
Mhm.
One thing you should always think about is there is nothing stopping you. You can be
Mhm.
whatever you want to be, because I was a person who never had any kind of formal training in baking or art or even marketing. I was just a, I was an engineer by profession, right? I don't have any other skill sets, but
Mhm.
I was able to make a career in this and also get decent earnings. So
Mhm.
I strongly believe that you can be anything you want to be. You just have to
Mhm.
set your mind to it. Uh,
Mhm.
in today's age and time, there's nothing stopping you from upskilling. There are a lot of
Mhm.
free courses online. There are a lot of courses that are very cost effective for you.
Mhm.
Upskilling is the most important thing that you should focus on, and
Mhm.
be razor sharp in your strategy. You need to strategize how, first and foremost, dream about what you want to be, and take decisive steps to get there. So
Mhm.
I have, this year when I joined Prayana as a mentor, I wanted to break all these myths surrounding women coming back into the workforce, because, even when you go for interviews, people feel that you are at a disadvantage there. But in an interview room, the woman should not feel disadvantaged for taking a career break. You
Mhm.
have picked up a lot of skills along the way, which probably women in the corporate world might not have picked up in that interim. So
Mhm.
I always try to support my mentees and make them aware of the fact that there are so many different soft skills in them which people are not aware of, and they should make that shine. And along with that, they should also upskill on their journey to their goal, whatever their target job is. Those are things that they should focus on. And of course, they should have a target job. I've also seen some of these women not having any fixed goal in mind. They say, okay, I can get back
Mhm.
into any job. So that is a wrong attitude. You should have something fixed in your mind and work towards that. Those are my learnings during my mentorship journey, and I feel those are very important when women are trying to get back into the workplace.
Right, right. No, thank you so much today for these wonderful tips and ideas for women to get back to their respective careers. It'll help a lot of women out there. Your inspiring journey is, of course, a story to tell on its own, anyways. I want to thank you for your time today and to talk to us. Should we have further questions to speak about and other topics to discuss, please be sure that we will contact you and be back again. So with that said, I'd like to thank you, Leya Lakshmanan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruchi, for having me on this podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. Before you move on to the next video, I have a request to make. If you like this video and this podcast, if you gained some valuable information out of this video, I would request you to click on the subscribe button as well as follow us on our social media pages. The links are given in our description. Also, do sign up to our website, www.shesitmag.com. We have amazing women stories as well as various women initiatives that are getting launched in the coming months. I'll see you there.